Bad news for California Republicans as a panel of federal judges reject the GOP's lawsuit to Prop 50. Coming up, I'll walk you through their decision and what will happen next. Could the U.S. Supreme Court intervene? Stay tuned. I'm Carl DeMaio, chairman of Reform California and a California state legislator, and some disappointing news from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. A three-judge panel has rejected, as I expected, the Republican Party's lawsuit challenging the validity of Proposition 50, the Proposition 50 rigged map that Gavin Newsom and Democrats imposed at the ballot box in the November special election. The decision, if you're a longtime viewer of this podcast, should not come as a surprise. Let me walk you through our case, the Republican Party's challenge on Prop 50, the judge's decision, and what might happen next. The Prop 50 case that Republicans brought, and I said we need to bring the lawsuit, even though it's a long shot, I don't think it's going to succeed. The case basically alleged that the Democrats illegally used race as a factor, as a driver in drawing maps under Prop 50. And that is clear. That actually was a stated goal of Democrats. They celebrated the fact that they drew a Prop 50 map that not only would allow them to punish Republicans and pick up 5 seats. They think they're going to pick up 5 seats. I'm not so sure about that. 5 seats, that they were doing it in response to Texas. It was a partisan play. It was gerrymandering, and they were very open about that. But they were also open about the fact that they kept majority-minority districts and added an additional majority-minority district, a Latino district in the LA area. That was something that they all bragged about. And in fact, the map maker that the Democrats hired, Paul Mitchell, specifically said he was excited about the fact that he drew majority-minority districts and added an additional majority-minority district in the LA area for Latinos. Those facts are not in dispute. So Republicans brought the case saying that the Democrats used race in part in drawing their maps, and as a result, they need to follow the Federal Voting Rights Act in its entirety, which requires a very specific set of findings need to be made that are backed up by data regarding, is it permissible to write a map, draw a map that uses skin color as a factor? And if so, do you make a data case that it complies with the Federal Voting Rights Act? That's very specifically the allegation in our lawsuit. We weren't saying that the maps were not also partisan. We were saying that they were partisan and used race inappropriately, illegally. The panel of 3 judges at the U.S. Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals has ruled that, no, it was a partisan decision. And in fact, the argument that the judges are making is that the voters decided, and the voters decided based on partisanship. That while race could have been a factor of Paul Mitchell and could have been a factor by the Democrat legislators, the individuals that ultimately adopted the map were the California voters. So the judges have ruled that the map is legal, that there was no race that was the primary motivator. And they are basically pointing to the voters as the deciders. I have no doubt that Republicans will appeal the decision to the U.S. Supreme Court. But let me tell you where I think this is going to come down. I do not think the U.S. Supreme Court is going to sustain the appeal. More importantly, since we're already starting an election for 2026 and the candidate filing period has begun as of December 19th, candidates are pulling papers, getting signatures to qualify for the ballot. The U.S. Supreme Court is unlikely to issue a stay on the Prop 50 map, let alone reverse the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals decision. So what happens next? I do believe that the Supreme Court will likely accept the appeal and then either will sit on it and deny it or will not take it up at all. Again, what they would have to do is they would have to issue a stay on the Ninth Circuit's order and say, you have to. We order you to use the old maps. I don't see that in the cards. I'm just giving you what I'm looking at. And I've read the opinion. And while I am not happy with the opinion, I also understand the argument being made by the judges of the Ninth Circuit as to why they are going to uphold the Prop 50 map. Don't like it, but that's the decision. And we don't have a very strong shot at the U.S. Supreme Court. Now, additional things might happen in that the Supreme Court may rule that any race-based districts need to be reconsidered, and that is the subject of a current U.S. Supreme Court case involving Louisiana. And that might require that we redraw the maps down the line in California, but that is for another day. For the moment, the bad news is we're stuck with the Prop 50 maps. So what do we do? First, you don't give in to despair. You don't say, oh, it's a lost cause. I don't believe that we're going to lose 5 seats. We are going to get voter ID on the ballot. And if you haven't signed the initiative yet, please go on the website, voteridinitiative.com, and download, print, sign, and mail back your petition. If we get voter ID on the ballot, it will really be a boost to our Republican turnout, which should make it more competitive in 2026, the midterm. Midterms are about low turnout. Whichever side turns out more can win these seats, even with a rigged map. I will also say we need volunteers. As part of our 26 in 2026 program, we have 26 target seats that we're going after, including a number of those congressional seats that Democrats think they can win. And if we get 26,000 volunteers, and right now we're at 18,000 volunteers, so we get 26,000 volunteers to canvass door to door in the month of October of 2026 to boost turnout, we actually can win these seats. So I am not accepting fate, nor should you. I believe that we can win several of the 5 seats that the Democrats think they can pick up. I believe we can win maybe one of the other seats that they made less competitive. My goal with voter ID and by getting a grassroots army built, my goal is to make the Prop 50 rigged map irrelevant. That because we are reaching voters, we're winning seats. And we have that opportunity before us. Do not accept fate. Do not become depressed or despondent. Do not be demoralized. Use the anger of the unfair map that Prop 50 represents to take action, to mobilize voters to vote. That's why I'm asking you to go to the website, reformcalifornia.org, and sign up as a volunteer and chip in a contribution today. Again, I wish I had better news. I wish the court decision had gone our way. I wish my predictions about the U.S. Supreme Court's appetite or lack thereof to overturn Prop 50, I wish that analysis was perhaps wrong, but I don't think so. I'm here to give you the breakdown of what just happened and what we do about it. Join the fight. Sign the petition at voteridpetition.org and chip in a contribution and volunteer at reformcalifornia.org. Until next time, I'm Carl DeMaio, Chairman of Reform California and a California State Legislator. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed this episode. But before you click away, please subscribe to this channel and click that notification button so you get updated when we post new episodes. Plus, like this video and share it with your friends so that we can help spread our message across the state.